Welcome to Narcissist Rehab, the podcast where we say the things you've been trying not to say out loud. I'm Bonita Payton, speaker, author, and survivor of betrayal, gaslighting, emotional burnout, and spiritual manipulation. This isn't a pity party. This is your wake-up call. And today, we start rehab. Let's talk about the woman who didn't get to leave, because sometimes it's not that you walk away, it's that he walked out. Fast, cold, without warning, and now you're sitting in the wreckage trying to make sense of what just happened. He's with someone else. He moved on like you didn't even exist. And suddenly the man who drained you gave you apologies to someone new. Let me be clear. Being discarded by a narcissist isn't just painful, it's traumatizing. Because they don't leave gently, they leave strategically. To break you, to punish you, to remind you that you were never the one in control. But I need you to hear this. You were not left because you weren't enough. You were left because you started to see through him. I want you to ask yourself this. Am I grieving the man or the fantasy of who I thought he could be? Do I want him back, or do I want to feel chosen? This is the rehab, not of your heart, but for your identity. Let's talk about when they replace you and call it closure. One day he's in your bed, the next day he's on Instagram with a new woman. That's not healing. That's public manipulation. Because narcissists don't move on, they recycle. They don't evolve, they replace. He didn't level up, he grabbed the next person who didn't know his patterns yet. And now you're over here second guessing your worth, while he's using her to polish his image. Let me help you out right now. His love wasn't real. His peace was performance. And his pain you're in is the cost of waking up. You were not too much. You were just finally unavailable to his games. But I never got the apology. But I gave too many. When I was in it, I didn't know it even had a name. I just thought love meant fixing everything. I never got an apology, but I gave hundreds. I said I'm sorry just to keep the peace. I took the blame for things I never even did. And every time I apologized, I disappeared a little more. He used to say, I'm just a private person. But what he really meant was, don't tell on me. He wasn't private, he was hiding, and I was the secret. When I found the truth, I became the enemy because he lied and I knew it. And when I confronted him, I was the problem. Not because I did anything wrong, but because I wouldn't stay silent. You weren't crazy for wanting connection. You were manipulated for wanting peace. I thought if I changed enough, he would finally love me. I constantly felt I did something wrong. That I wasn't enough. That if I just changed, if I was more patient, more quiet, more understanding, he'll give me the love that I wanted. I didn't understand until it was over that I was a super empath and he was a narcissist. I kept trying to fix the problem, not realizing that he was the problem I couldn't solve. I wanted the version of him I met in the beginning. You know, the representative, the affectionate, attentive man that every woman dreams about. You know, Casanova. But that man was a mask, and I nearly lost myself waiting for him to come back. He didn't come back. The mask did, over and over and over again. But the jokes got meaner, the truth got foggier, and the love got colder. You weren't asking for too much. You were asking the wrong person. When you leave first, the pain of going no contact. If you're lucky enough to leave before he replaces you, let me be honest, it still hurts. You have to go no contact. You have to ignore the calls, stop replying to texts, stop checking his stories, stop asking his friends why he doesn't love you back. Because he knows all you want is for him to just love you again. And he will make promises he never plans to keep, offer sex to keep you hooked, give you enough attention to stop you from moving on. You have to cut the cord, girl. Stop stalking his new woman, trying to figure out what she has that you don't. You were never the problem. But now you're too afraid to let anyone else love you. Too scared to trust your own judgment. Afraid you'll choose another narcissist. Afraid that maybe love just isn't safe anymore. So you stay single, not because you want peace, but because you're afraid of the pain. This is rehab. This is where we face the fear and walk into our freedom. And the illusion of perfection and the pain behind it, the insults, the put down, the jabs that sound like jokes but leave scars. He made you feel like you were never enough, like his presence in your life was a gift you didn't deserve, and you dared to ask for more. You were needy, you were crazy, and you were so ungrateful. He took your last, your money, your peace, your strength, and made you feel selfish for needing anything in return. And while you broke quietly inside, the world clapped for him because he smiled in pictures, because his timeline looked perfect. But you lived behind the scenes with no empathy, no support, and no safety. And now you doubt your sanity, your intelligence, your ability to love or to be loved. That wasn't your fault. That was emotional abuse. And this is your rehab. He cheated, he lied, he left. But somehow you ended up apologizing for being too emotional, too strong, too tired, too much. Let me say this clearly. You were never the problem. You were the proof that he couldn't love honestly, because your love required growth and he wasn't willing to rise. Today, you stopped carrying the blame for someone else's brokenness. Write a letter to the version of you who kept waiting for love to come back. Tell her she deserved better. Tell her she was more than enough. Ladies, I'm here, and I'm here being truthful because I have definitely gone through rehab. Narcissistic rehab, that is. I used to blog every day, and I actually used to talk about how I felt. One of the blogs that I wrote, I will share with you today. After ending a relationship with a narcissist, and it goes like this. He used to be my priority in my life. Everything in my world would stop for him when he needed me. He was the first voice I wanted to hear in the morning, and I had to go to sleep to his voice at night. He was my drug that cured all my pain. If I felt he needed my last dollar, I would give it to him and go without as long as I knew he was gonna be okay. If I did not hear from him in a few hours after talking to him, I would worry that something had happened to him. At one point, I gave up everything just to be near him and have him in my life. He was my truth and my life. I trusted him, I loved him, and I adored him, and thought of him not being in my life ripped my world apart. It took me a lot for me to realize that after I found out that everything was a lie, that things could not be fixed, I wanted to fix it. I wanted to fix him. I wanted to fix our relationship. But how can you fix something that is shattered in so many pieces? I have no trust in him, and I cannot believe anything that he says anymore. I have cried so much that now when I cry, it is because I miss what I had with him. I have the memories and the laughter that we had, but memories soon fade away. I have noticed that his life is not my priority anymore. His needs are not my concern anymore. His happiness is not my goal in life anymore. I don't feel his pain anymore, and it does not bother me not to talk to him anymore. The one thing that I had not been able to do because of the hold he had on my heart and mind, I was able to do a couple of weeks ago, and I had no regrets in doing it. It takes a while to get over someone that you love so deeply, and I have learned that rushing from one relationship to another is just not the answer. I was told that the best way to get over one man is to get under another, but that's not true for me. I have to take the time. I have to let the person get out of my system. My two biggest heartaches have taken time to work through, but I am okay now. No one understood that I could have given anything to fix what was broken. But you can't fix something that does not have a desire to be fixed. I used to think it was me that caused me to keep ending up in the same place, but only responsibility I could take is loving them too much and trying to show people how to give and receive love that they have never experienced before. I feel that God has my mate out there and that one day he will find me. I will know that he is the one because he will be persistent and bold in his pursuit, and his love will be calming, trusting, honest, and real in my life. He will fit in with me and my kids' life like a missing puzzle piece. It will not be hard, but easy and relaxing with no drama or stress. He will not try to control me or abuse me. He will not use me to make his life better financially. He will love, respect, and cherish me. He will understand that we need to cherish every moment like it is our last. Until then, I will enjoy my career, my family, and I will give all my time to them. As far as my ex, I care, and a part of me will always love him and not hate him. And I remember that part of our relationship because that was flawless. I had to share that because I know that at the end of a narcissistic relationship, every lady goes through that. We miss him. We want to call him. We want to listen to voicemails over and over and over again. We text for no reason just to see if they'll reply. We come up with every reason in the world just to have him say anything. We still just can't believe in our mind that we weren't to blame, that we didn't do something wrong. This all had to happen because of something that we did. But I have to understand, and I need everybody, every woman out there that's going through this, that have been through this, to repeat this after me. I am not the cause of his pain. I do not need an apology to heal. I do not need to shrink to be loved. I release the blame that never belonged to me. Let these phrases breathe. Let them land. She never got the closure. She just got quiet. And the moment she stopped apologizing, she started healing. Ladies, this isn't easy. And I'm never gonna tell you that it is. What you went through, what you're going through, is hard. It's worse than giving up your bottle if you're an alcoholic and your drugs if you're a drug addict. Because it is an addiction when it comes to a narcissist. So I want you, if you know somebody going through this, like we went through it, like we are going through it, I want you to tell them about this show. I want you to tell them that it's gonna be okay, that you can get to the other side, that you can make it through, and everything will be okay. But let's be honest, you know I let him back in, even after I knew better. I knew he was lying. I knew he hadn't changed. I knew he was still hiding, but I let him back in. Because sometimes the pain of being alone feels heavier than the pain of staying. And I wanted him to just say something. Love me. Choose me. I missed him more than I trusted myself. I wasn't missing the man. I was missing the hope. He didn't come back because he changed. He came back because he knew I would open the door. And I thought, if I can just love him harder, if I can just hold on longer, maybe the man I fell in love with would show back up. But he didn't. And neither did I. I lost more of myself every time I let him in. But let me tell you something, ladies. You're not crazy. You were conditioned. This is where we stop blaming ourselves. We weren't weak, we were conditioned. Every time he gave you the silent treatment, he taught you to fear your own voice. Every time he withheld love, he taught you to beg for crumbs. Every time he blamed you for his actions, it rewired your brain to believe pain meant love. But today, we reset. We reject narrative, we reclaim our truth. Affirm this. I trust my gut. I am not hard to love. His patterns are not my identity. I don't have to prove I'm enough. I already am. And this is how we begin to rewire our mind and rewrite the story. We have to forgive. You have to forgive yourself. It's real freedom. That's what this is. He lied, he manipulated, but you know what hurt the most? That you stayed. You saw the red flags, you felt the shift. You knew it wasn't love anymore, but you kept loving. So now it's not about forgiving him, it's about forgiving you, the woman who stayed, the woman who held out hope, the woman who thought loyalty would heal what broke you. Forgive her, not because she was wrong, but because she was doing the best she could with what she believed was love. You didn't fail, you grew, and now you rise. I carried his shame like it was mine. I wore his silence like a scarlet letter. I bent until I broke, and when I broke, I said sorry for bleeding. I made myself small so he could feel big. I dulled my light so he couldn't feel exposed. And when he didn't show up, I called it love. I made excuses for his absence and called it understanding. I erased my own boundaries and I called it patience. But today I tell the truth. He wasn't honest, he wasn't kind, he wasn't ready, and I wasn't crazy. I was conditioned, I was targeted, I was tested, and I survived. So no, I'm not perfect, but I am free. And I will never again shrink myself to fit inside someone else's womb. I am not his insecurity. I am not his silence. I am not his weapon. I am the woman who made it out. I am the voice he couldn't silence. I am the one who rose, and I will not apologize. This is Narcissistic Rehab, and we don't beg for love here. We remember who we are. I want to thank you for joining me today for first in our series of Narcissistic Rehab. Next week, ladies, we got to do a little bit more because I want to help the ladies out there that went through what I went through. And it's funny because I used to be told that the reason why I kept going through the same thing over and over and over is because I kept meeting the same man born under the same birth sign with a different name. How true that is, I'll never know. But ladies, today, I'm gonna be honest. Maybe I'm single because I just don't want to be hurt again. Maybe I'm single because I'm afraid of heartbreak. Maybe I'm single because I'm still healing from the narcissistic relationship. But ladies, we're gonna make it through. Ladies, we're gonna do what we have to do, and we're gonna take it step by step. We're gonna learn everything that we need to learn to love ourselves. That is the first step, loving ourselves. We put ourselves first. We're going to put ourselves above everything and anybody and everything that's out there. We have big hearts. And when we love hard. And nobody can tell us any different. People will see what you're going through before you see it. People will hurt for you before you even start hurting. We won't listen. We will defend. We will love we will cherish, and we will try to fix something that's not even broken on us. We will realize together right here on Unbreakable, Unapologetic, and Unstoppable, where we say things that others are too afraid to say, and I'm gonna say them out loud. And ladies, I'll say it for you. But once you listen to this podcast, what I want you to walk away with is that it's not your fault. He showed up in a mask. He was loving. He was caring. He was everything you said you wanted in a man. He made you feel safe. He made you feel beautiful. He made you feel loved. It's not your fault. You saw what he showed you, but now you know different. Now you understand what it is that you went through and what you're going through. And ladies, I want you to learn like I learned. For some, I want you to take this and get out before it happens the other way and he gets out and your heart is crushed and your life is broken and there's no way to get it back. So let me tell you what healing actually looks like. It's not pretty. It's not perfect. It's not always peaceful. Healing is sitting in the silence. It's not calling him. Healing is crying your eyes out, then walking into the meeting and still showing up as yourself. Healing is not proving your worth to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. It's waking up, taking a breath, and saying, I choose me again. It's awkward first dates. It's journaling the same questions over and over again. It's laughing at something random and realizing you just smiled for real for the first time in weeks. Healing doesn't always look like confidence. Sometimes it looks like courage with shaky hands. But it's real. It's holy. And it's yours. Because girl, you didn't go through all that pain just to stay stuck. You went through it to rise. So you keep going. You're not behind. You're becoming. I want to thank you for joining me tonight on Unbreakable, Unapologetic, and Unstoppable, where I say things out loud that you can only think about. I'll see you next week. I'm out. Oh, and before I end, I want to tell you real quick, make sure you go get my book, She Rises, the Bonita Payton story. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Ingram Spark, and bookstoread.com. Support your girl.